I'm starting this video with a deep breath. Like, when's the last time you slowed down? I feel like you watching this right now are so stuck in this like busy bee syndrome that you haven't taken some time to rest at all. Like, you are so inundated from doing things, from running errands, from buying things, from shopping, from checking off your to-do list. Like, I feel like I see this person avidly going through this list and be like, oh my God, I forgot this. Oh my goodness. And rushing, just like constantly rushing. Why is that? I feel like this time of year, the holidays, it's always so hard for me. I feel like I love Christmas time. I love the message. I have a hard time with how it affects us and our souls. Like, it's supposed to make us feel alive and full, and that fullness is supposed to feel like it carries us through the entire year. You know, like that's what Christmas is about, is like that alivening in yourself again, that awakening, that rebirth again of love, of your fullness, of you, you know? So this is your message. If you're watching this right now, this found you for a reason. This is your message. Slow down. Slow down. I see a lot of you that are really ungrounded from all of this. There's this collective buzz in the energy, and that's what happens with Christmas and this time of year. If you're watching this at a different time of year, it's a reminder that energy never dies, and this could be for you as well. So there's this kind of, I feel like I see this vision, Spirit's giving me this vision of like a hollowness. Like, you feel like you're a shell of a person right now because you've been doing so much, giving so much, and there's this like give, and not enough take. Like, not enough you repouring back into yourself. And I see this person almost like crashing at the end of the day on the couch. Like, you were just so exhausted, like so exhausted. The amount of sleep, the amount of tiny little time you have in the morning before you leave the house feels like it's not enough. Like, it feels like you are absolutely exhausted. Like, you are almost at your wit's end. But I feel like there's a few of you watching this that don't realize the exhaustion that you really are in. But collectively, like, I feel like most of you watching this do. Like, most of you watching this right now are like, yeah, that's me. Just sign, kind of like, I just see this, watching this video, you know, with your phone, like this like harumph kind of energy, you know? And I want to remind you to not only do the food, the water, the vitamins, the whatever you can do for yourself, like breath work. If it's breath work, it's calling you. I feel like there's a lot of you messages for that too, of like getting back into Reiki, regular massages, going for a walk around, you know, where you live, like anything that can have you take a pause. There's so much rushing, so much hustling. And I think there's a handful of you too watching this. I think this is you as well. I'm also in this, so hello, that you feel like going towards the end of the year, there's a lot of newness and a lot of you wanting to look back and reflect on your goals, wanting to make sure that you're crossing off these things off your list before that year comes around, before you're really inundated by all of the things that come with a new year, new cycle, new change. I feel like there's a few of you going through a lot of change that has more to do with your perspective than anything, than your environment. If this feels like a within thing, like this feels like I'm like downloading these new higher dimensions in my being. I'm like rising up in frequency. I see this like almost like a checkerboard. I don't know if this resonates with you, but like this checkerboard of you playing yourself. This message that wants to come through, it's like, stop trying to be that person to yourself. Like, stop trying to put yourself in these hard situations. Like this almost message of like, you are like not tripping over yourself, but you're having a hard time letting what's enough be enough. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Like, letting what's enough be enough for yourself. Like, there's this moreness. There's this, I have to do more. I have to be more. I have to, you know, more. And I'm getting actually the irony of the more you slow down, the more you come back to yourself, the more you center yourself, the more you ground yourself, the more you'll actually feel, the more you'll actually see in your life. The fullness will actually come back for you. And I know all too well that feeling of hustling and wanting to catch up with yourself, wanting yourself to catch up with your head, with your goals, with your dreams and your reality. But this is a message for you as much as it is for me. If you are watching this, that your dreams and your reality are already here. There's this thread of limiting beliefs within you that is holding you back. And I have reflected on this the past couple of days because this collective feels like there's this, not only this moreness that we are reaching for, but understanding that there's this expansiveness there. And our awareness is there. We've seen it. We have the vision. You have the vision in your heart and you know what you're going after. But tell me if this resonates in the comments. You feel like it's still over here and you're like a mouse chasing this cheese around the house, like this little thread, like, come on, a little more, just run a little more. Not that ever happens, but you know what I mean? Like, you're trying to chase this feeling and this reality. It's more of a reality than a feeling, but that feeling of fullness almost gets a little closer the closer you feel like you're getting. And ironically, it's about coming back to yourself and your center, coming back to your why. Why? I asked myself that yesterday. Like, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? I think coming back and asking ourselves these questions before we do things, before we utilize the energy within us. The universe already has an abundance of energy for us, but what do you want to use it for? Ask yourself that. Why am I pursuing this? Why do I want to stay here in the new year? Why do I want to leave this space in the new year? Come back to that center within you. And that would really help ground you, not only like going outside barefoot, because negative ions are amazing, reconnecting to that earthiness. I feel like there's earth signs in here that resonate with that, but no matter what sign you are, there's an essence of needing that earthiness again. And I got the Cancer zodiac sign. I wonder if any of you are Cancers in here, but there's this like emotionalness in essence. So it doesn't even have to be, your sign or whatever your big three are, but there's an essence in here of almost like an emotionalness of like letting yourself down. Do you resonate with that? There's this like underlying root. If we peel back the layer of why you're really trying so hard, of why you're really, really focusing on go, go, go mode, is there's this essence of almost show up for yourself in a way that makes sure you get there. That makes sure you're not missing out on where you really want to be. And my love, oh, it makes me emotional every time I get these downloads from Spirit. Thank you. Essence coming through of like, you are so where you are meant to be. You cannot lose touch with that. You here right now receiving this message is your confirmation. If you've been looking for a sign, this is it. This is your confirmation that you are right where you need to be. You don't need to be anyone else. You don't need to become anyone else. You don't need to be better than where you're at. More energy, give this, give that. You don't need to feel like you have to empty yourself. You watching this particularly are such perfectionists, feel like you've always given so much. I feel like there's a lot of independent women watching this. Feels like you have been that for yourself so much. And your cup is finally getting empty, my dear. Like, you are finally not cracking, but you're finally like, oh my gosh, like, I can't do this anymore. I can't sustain this. Like, this sustain feeling it's burning you out. It's burning you out. And I burnt out the past couple of years, and I'm telling you right now, it is not an easy road to get out of. I'm still coming out of that space. I'm still working towards that for myself. And it is really coming back to yourself and realizing that you are pushing yourself for an objective. I hate to say just the ego, because our heart space is really equally important. We want to pursue our things. And I think that we can overlook a lot of things that are really important to us and integral to us meeting our goals and us really getting to where we want to be. And that's health. That's the wealth. That's what I'm hearing. Like, your health is your wealth, but it seems that you push that aside for all of these other objectives that you were trying to check off before the year ends, before you get to X, Y, and Z, before something happens. Like, there's this like goal you set for yourself, or there's this tangible something that you set for yourself of like, this vision, I need to have this before this. I don't know what that is for you. Let me know in the comments. Something that you've set for yourself that feels like fear is driving at this point. I hate to tell you that, but I love to tell you that because I'm here to speak some more truth and help you come back to your heart center. So if this resonates, awesome. If it doesn't, then take what does. But there's this like goal that you seem to got off the rails a little bit. Like, I see this bowling alley, like this lane that you've thrown down the ball constantly, and there's these gutter balls that seem to keep kind of moving you closer and closer. These balls that these throws that you're giving keep seeming to moving you closer and closer to the gutter. And It's coming from the direction, coming back to your why. It's coming from the space in you that almost feels like not only do you feel like you don't deserve it, but you do. It's limiting to belief, but feels like you're almost scared of what you're going to get. Does that make sense? Like you're almost scared of success. Like I'm getting the tears again. That's how I know if I've struck something. You're scared of your own success. Think about that for a minute. You're scared of what that looks like and how that changes your life, how that shows up for you, how that changes you. You're scared of being the person that you need to be in order to sustain it. I keep hearing this word sustain. Like there's this fear around the sustaining energy of what if I get it and it goes away? What if I get there and I lose it? What if I get there and it's not what I thought it would be? What if? Oh my gosh, there's like so many what ifs. And I think a lot of you are starting to wake up to that. At least maybe this is your message to get there, of these limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And I think this is really the thing that's going to help you cross that chasm of really getting you to age yourself. Like I hear this, someone aiding themselves, like putting on your own Band-Aid, but this is almost the Band-Aid for your soul. Like there's this bleeding that's been going on. I hate to say it this way, but like there's this bleeding that's been going on because you've been feeling like you have just like been bleeding your energy to people that aren't really filling you up, energy to your work, your career. There's this collective energy on goals and dreams right now and ambitions, and falling short of that, feeling like you're falling short of that. And at the end of the day, we are only as short as we believe ourselves to be. You should stop right now and think of this time last year. I would be a betting woman that you, and let me know in the comments too, that you felt a similar energy now than you did last year. There's this similar resonance in your heart coming from the limiting beliefs, not what's really going on in your environment. I feel like you've had a lot of change and things happen in the past year that have been really hard, but that also have woken you up to your potential in a good way. But there's this limiting belief, almost like if you watch my previous video, if you haven't, go back and watch it, about you stepping in and pulling back again. Putting yourself out there, and then the limiting beliefs start clouding your vision and you just start to pull back again. But I feel like there's a lot of you that haven't realized you've been pulling back so much, that haven't really capitalized on what you're really going towards, like capitalizing on that essence and that energy that you feel the fullness of, and you're almost getting frustrated. Like frustrated is what I'm getting, like frustrated that you're not there yet. Frustrated with yourself that you're giving and giving and giving and pouring and pouring and pouring, and like, oh my gosh darn it, why isn't this happening? Like, oh my gosh, like this intense kind of frustration, but coming from disappointment and sadness for yourself. It's coming from the space in yourself that doesn't feel like it really deserves it. And I feel like a lot of you listening to that says, no, like I've done the work, I feel like I do. But really ask yourself, when you picture yourself in the vision and the reality that you really want and that you're working towards, do you feel that fullness and that aliveness and that excitement? Like, this is mine. Come back to that space is what I'm hearing. Maybe you don't necessarily believe that belief that you don't deserve it, but I feel like you're owning that belief in a way that's still limiting you. And it's important to understand that you don't have to be aware of that. You can still be operating in a lack of blank, in a lack of energy, in a lack of abundance, in a lack of confidence, in a lack of self-worth, self-deservingness, that I feel like those voices that you've collected along the years are still there. Like, get a broom, my dear, and start sweeping, because I feel like you need to clear some energy out, clear some stuff out that is no longer serving you. As I said that, I got this, like I'm getting chills down my face, like down my neck. Like, there's so much for you. And there is this energy for you that has never left. Like, it's here. It is literally here for you. Your portal is right here. You are like in this little fork of the road. Here's a shut door. Here's an open door. And the only reason why this one's shut, the one that you really want, is because you just haven't looked around. Just, the door's open. Go open the door. Like, literally open the door. It's there for you. It's right in front of you. Like, I feel like when you're really tired and someone's talking, you kind of start to space out. and you're just kind of like, yep, and they're just right here, and you're like, oh, sorry, you know, wow, and you have to have that almost smack in the face a little bit. Like, I see this metaphor of like running into this door and being like, oh my gosh, like it was that close. What the heck? Like, where did that come from? This is where it was all this time. Oh my gosh, like what? Like, it is closer than you perceive. In the mirror, like objects are closer than they appear. It is so close. Your reality, your portal is so close for you. And I don't say that to make you feel like you have to do more to get there. I mean, you are literally right here. I mean, you are literally touching your reality. And the only thing you need to do, ironically, is rest, is come back to your center, is ground yourself in that love, in that reality, in that vision again. I get so strongly that you need to go sit and meditate, or sit stillness, whatever that looks like. If that's taking your dog out for a walk, if that's having a long lunch break, if you're at work, if that's whatever that looks like for you, just being able to take a pause. You can do it right now with me. Pause. And come back to that happy spark within you, that happy space within you, that, yeah, you know, I'm doing great. Because you are doing great. You are doing so much better than you give yourself credit for. I'm just going to tell you that right now. That's all I'm hearing right now. Like, I see smiles and like applauds. That's like what I'm hearing. Like, you should give yourself a pat on the back. Like, it's making me emotional because I feel like it's making some of you emotional, that you are doing so much better than you give yourself credit for. Please stop the burnout cycles, because it's not needed. You know, like pouring into these spaces it's great. You know, it's what we need to do in order to get places. But there's this overwhelming space right now for us as energy, is what I wanted to say. An overwhelming energy that is telling you to slow down a little bit. It's okay to take a rest. Like, it's okay to take a pause is what I hear for you. It is okay to take a pause in order to almost like exponentially get you to where you want to be. It's amazing what that can do for you. So sit back, relax a little bit. In the midst of the busyness, yes, I mean that. It can be a 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute, an hour, highly recommend. Whatever you can give yourself, you have to make time for that. Like, you're making a lot of time for other things, but yourself. And my dear, you are so vital to everything else. It starts here from you. Everything else is just a projection of you. Your reality is a projection of you. So I feel like that's a really important thing. And I feel like a lot of you are feeling this lack outside of yourself because you're not identifying that lack within yourself. It's really coming from within inside. And that's a good thing, because that means like your reality outside is exactly where you need to be. You just need to catch up a little bit by slowing down. Catch up by slowing down. And on that ironic note, I will let you guys go, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.